Hiya, welcome to Excel Maths. Today we are going to be starting Pure Maths for Year 1 AS level. So this lesson is specially dedicated to all my young students who just stepped into their first year of A levels. And we are discussing Pure Maths. This is the first chapter, Algebraic Expressions. So as you can see the name of the chapter, it's definitely not a new thing. You just did all the things there in GCSE, and just to connect and make you feel comfortable in A levels, I feel like this is the first chapter where you would be, there isn't any kind of stress or like anxiety for the maths you're going to be experiencing. And technically, as you grow, gradually the course is going to be increasing. So yeah, it's quite easy and understandable. Just step by step, as you grow, your maturity level will also increase. So the content will also increase. That's it. So let's get started. Here, okay. So we have in today's class what we're going to be learning, like not all the things we're going to be learning, but I just took this objectives from your book. So we're going to be learning in this chapter about multiplying and dividing integer powers, expanding a single term over brackets and collecting like terms, expanding the product of 2 or 3 expressions, factorizing linear, quadratic and simple cubic expressions, knowing and using laws of indices, simplifying and using the surds, rules of surds, and rationalizing denominators. So a lot of things, but technically if I just break it down, we're going to be getting these 5 significant highlights of the chapter. Index laws. The second one is expanding brackets. Third is factorizing, negative and fractional powers, and the last one is surds. And if I talk about myself, I teach my students instead of 5, only 4 concepts, because if you see index laws and the fourth one, which is negative and fractional powers. So powers are the part of index laws, no? So we will learn only 4 things here, and we're going to be covering negative and fractional powers under index laws only, and that is actually the part of. So yes, we just have these things, and you're quite aware of all those things, isn't it? It's just understanding what the level of the content is, what type of questions are we going to be learning, and according to, what type of questions are we going to be having in our exams or so, no? So what I did, I actually have started with including some questions here. So next slide will be having questions. You can understand what exactly the level of understanding or practice you should keep so that you can solve those questions basically. So as you can see, this is the first question, and completely depending upon indices plus factorizing is also there, like solving quadratics is there. So we'll talk about, by the end of the lesson today, we're going to be talking about this question, solving together. I kept the area for the same. Now the next question we have over here, it's about surds and again solving equations, so kind of taking factorizing methods or solving a quadratic equation simply, though we have b to the power 4 over here, as you can see, but need not to fear. We will learn like how can we make it a simple thing and sort it out. And there we have surds. I'm pretty sure you can solve this question right away without really going, diving deeper into the content for AS level. But if you want, you can pause and try attempting this question. Otherwise, we're going to be discussing it by the end of the chapter. Next question we have from June 2020, and this is again keeping surds as well as indices. So as you can see, examiners are taking 2-3 subtopics together to make the question challenging, and this is actually the main trick is. Now we have another question from 2021 where you again are going to be seeing just indices. So in today's lesson, as we discussed, we are going to be covering index laws. We definitely are going to be discussing this question at the end. Another question again we have, this one also you can solve without really having any go through of the chapter. if you want, you can pause the video and try solving it, and you can share your answers through chat. Okay, so here we get our lesson officially starting, and you can see all basic things are there. I'm pretty sure you are clear with all these things, like what an exponent is. We can call it exponent or indices, right? So n over here is nothing but the exponent or indices, and this floating number on the top of some big number, that big number is called the base. So we are very clear with the base and the exponent. Depending upon what the exponent is, it repeats, it multiplies by itself that number of times. Say for example over here, a cubed, that means a cube, that means 3 times. A is going to be multiplying by itself 3 times, and it's very basic. I know you know all these things. So let's jump into the topic, like main concepts. This is product law. When two bases multiplied together with different indices, when two bases multiplied together, we add their indices. So to teach my students, like for you, definitely it's not the trick. You're very clear with the thing. But for my GCSE or year 10 students, so if it's multiply, right, you just flip it a bit, like flip it, I would say just 45 degrees, you're going to be getting plus, right? So wherever you have timesing with the same basis, you're going to be adding indices. When you divide bases, you will subtract indices. Divide itself includes the minus sign, no? Yeah. The third law is powers of powers. So m is actually directly the power of a, and whole bracket has another power. So it's not new. The bracket means multiplying, no? So you're going to be multiplying m and n over here. When you have powers of powers, you will multiply them. Any base to the power 0 is going to be giving you 1. Next is negative indices. A negative indices, to make it a positive, you just need to find the reciprocal of. So it's a to the power m, which is negative. To make it positive indices, we can do 1 over a, and that would be m to the power m. You can also write it as 1 over a to the power m, right? So they are basically two ways. If it's a to the power minus m, you can just take denominator as 1 and flip it reciprocal. So it would be 1 over the positive thing, a to the power m. Or the other way around, a to the power minus m. So you can write it to be a whole to the power minus m. Can we write the denominator to be 1? If we flip the fraction, the indices goes positive. Whatever works for you, you can follow that. Now the next one and the last, index law is fractional indices. You have a fraction over here. If you have a fraction over here, before I discuss this thing, if I say a to the power a half, you're very aware of this thing. You write it like this, right? Correct? So whenever you have 1 over, this is the square root, correct? If you have any other number, say for example, if I say it is 3, you need to write that 3 there. If that's 4, you need to change it to write 4 there. If it is n, okay, if it adds any confusion over here, I'll just be taking some space and trying to explain you, because I feel like for your A levels, these two are the main things where you actually need to focus basically. So the negative one as well as the fractional indices. So a to the power m over n, can we write it as a to the power m and 1 over n. And when you multiply m and 1 over n, that will give you m over n, that we know. And this is actually, we are inferring that powers of power. Okay, so now 1 over n looks, isn't it looking like 1 over 3, 1 over 4, 1 over 5? So 1 over n, that means it would be a root with n present over there, and keep a to the power m written inside, right? So if based on the same thing, if I write 2 to the power 3 over 5, can we write it like 5 here and 2 cubed. If that makes sense, I feel like you are very ready to immediately jump to solve questions. So let's get started and have our questions. I have just taken questions from your book itself. So the first is very easy peasy lemon squeezy. Here what we need to do, we have same basis and the product over there. So we're going to be getting A part, indices add 2 plus 5, that will give us 7. B. For B, you have 2r squared times 3r cubed. So you actually have two numbers that are multiplying. So we can split this question as 2 times 3, keeping the numbers together, constant values together, times r squared times r cubed. Right? Can we write it like this? So 2 times 3 is 6 and r squared times r cubed is going to be giving us r to the power 5. And that's your answer. The C part we have over here, that is quotient rule. We are dividing same basis. Indices are going to be subtracting. 7 take away 4, that gives us B cubed. No problem to do that. Another question we have over here, D part says 6. Again, we're going to be keeping the numbers together and bases together. So 6 divided by 3. Let me highlight first what we are doing. We are just dividing 6 and 3. That gives us, correct, 2. And x to the power 5 divided by x cubed. When it is divided, indices subtract. That is going to be giving you 2x squared. That's it. Now over here, if you try solving this question, so it's what rule? It's powers of powers. So whenever you have a bracket in between two powers, you just need to multiply them. So it is not a to the power 5, but a to the power 6 times 2a squared. This 2 has nothing to multiply with, so we're going to be keeping 2 there. And 6 and 2 will make 8. Correct? Which particular rule did we use over here? Just text me quickly. Comment me quickly. Yeah, it's a product law. Okay, the last question here. So we have the whole thing with a cube. Now, here we get a mistake. Like most of the students, what they do, they write 3x to the power 6 divided by x to the power, it's 4. So basis we can simplify, so we're going to be getting 3x to the power 6 take away 4, that is 2. But actually you made a mistake over here. Why? What the mistake is? It was a bracket, no? So if it's a bracket, so all the things are going to be cubed. So 3, we're going to be writing it as 3 cubed times x to the power of 2 times 3. That will be 6. That you wrote correct, but the cube thing you missed, right? So the answer is going to be not this, what I wrote, but our final answer will be 27x squared. Correct? It would be 27x squared. Yeah, hope that makes sense. Now let's move to the next part. We have some more examples added on challenges there. So A part, if you see A part here, minus 3x is multiplying with an expression inside the bracket, that is 7x minus 4. So how do we do? It's negative over here. Watch out. You would be having watch out things there in your book. Watch out means you need to be careful. So when it's negative, you need to be very careful because it's going to be changing signs there. So minus 3 times 7 is minus 21 and x times x is x squared. You're clear with this? We learn these things right from year 9, I guess. So this times this is done. Now this times that one. So it would be minus and minus, that would be positive. And 3 times 4 is 12. X has no other friend, so it would be x only. This is A part we did. Now let's do B part. For B part, I just want to see if I can increase the thickness of my pen. Give me a sec. I'm not sure actually. Okay, never mind. B part we have y squared multiplying with the bracket that has 3 minus 2y cubed. It's positive, so you need not to be, very careful. You can easily do this. So y squared times 3 would give you 3y squared, and y squared times minus 2y cubed will give you minus 2, and y squared and y cubed is going to be y to the power 5. I'm sure you would be getting all these answers. No? C part I'm doing here. 4x. Here we have trinomial. That means 3 terms inside. So not to worry. We're going to be multiplying 4x with the first term. So it would be 4x. Okay. I'll do one thing. I'm going to be writing inside thing first. So 3x minus 2x squared plus 5x cubed. This is how I teach my GCSE students, not to make really any mistake. But I'm pretty sure I'm using the dot notation to represent product. So it would be, I'm just, this 4x, I'm moving inside, like 3x times 4x, because it's outside, it's common to multiply with each term. So I'm just going to be, with the dot notation, I'm going to be writing it there like this. Correct? Now, let's simplify that. 3 and 4 multiply together to give us 12, and x times x is x squared. Minus 4 times 2 is 8, and x squared and x. Most of the time, I see students making mistake to be writing it x squared, but make sure this is 1 there. So it would be x cubed plus 5 times 4 is 20, and it would be 3 and 1 x to the power 4. So overall our answer comes 4 times 3 is 12x squared minus 8x cubed plus 20x to the power 4. Now let's try the last part, D part here. If you want to try this with me, you can pause the video, solve the question, and come back to check whether what I did. Okay, so we actually have 2 brackets. What else are they going to be doing? What added on complexity they can include over here? Nothing. So it would be like adding brackets, adding 2 together, adding 3 together, negative before the bracket, all these things. So the first you need not to really worry, but the second one you need to be careful because it's a negative there. So what would we get? 2x times 5x will give you 10x squared. Very well done. Plus 2x times 3 will give us 6x. Here I'm keeping minus and just moving 5, or if you're comfortable, every time I try to keep the bracket before I move the negative there. So 5 times 2x is 10x plus 5 times 3 is 15. Okay. Now the next step would be moving the negative inside. Okay. So this will be 10x squared plus 6x minus 10x minus 15. Okay, is it correct or I made any mistake? Just tell me quickly. So if it's not wrong, so we can sum it up, or maybe I would just quickly check. Rechecking is very important. 2x and 5x it's going to be giving us 10x squared, and 6x, I think is correct. So 10x squared, 6x take away 10x will give us a negative 4x, negative 15. And this is what the answer is. Hope that makes sense, right? Now let's see. Oh really? I thought I'm going to be needing more space, so I added 1 space there. Never mind. We have another set of questions. Example 3, where we have to simplify these expressions. So how are you going to be doing that? Yes, let me tell you the mistake what the students do before I tell you the right method. What they do, they write it as x to the power 11 over x to the power 3. Can you write on comment what mistake they actually did? If you literally are able to understand that this is wrong. Okay, so over here is plus sign in between. We have product rule, quotient rule, powers of powers, negative exponent or fractional exponent, but we don't have a plus. Some rule we don't have, right? Just make sure you don't make any mistake over here. So it's a plus, not a multiply, so we are not going to be adding indices. So what we do, you have two methods actually. You can use the factorizing method or just dividing. So first I'm using the dividing method. So if I do x to the power 7, I'm just splitting. So this denominator x cubed is common for both of them. Now you tell me, can we write it like this? Plus x to the power 4 over x cubed. Okay, if I say you have 3 over 2 plus 5 over 2. Do we not write it like 3 plus 5 over 2? And if it is written in this form, can we break it in that form? Yes, this is what I did over here. So now we are going to be using the quotient rule, like dividing one. So if same bases are dividing, we're going to be writing 7 minus 3 plus x to the power 4 minus 3. That goes to be 4 plus x or x to the power 1. And this is our final answer. Now the second method, what we could do, I mean here obviously factorizing we will learn later, but you have done it in GCSE. So keeping that under consideration, your previous knowledge, obviously you learned a lot, not just for your GCSEs, no, you are going to be implementing it. So x to the power 7 and x to the power 4. So x to the power 7 plus x to the power 4 over x cubed. Can we write x to the power 7 as x to the power 4 times x cubed plus x to the power 4 over x cubed? Or you can directly take x to the power 4 common, right? You need not to really show this step. X to the power 4 common, you will be getting x cubed plus 1 over x all over x to the power 3. So it would be simplified 4 and 3, you will be getting 1. Or if you're not understanding this, this is basically the same thing. You have 4 x to the power 4 and x cubed. So we are actually dividing, we are doing it like this, x to the power 4 over x cubed. So it would be x to the power 4 minus 3, that gives us x. So outside, what it gives, outside you have x and inside you have x cubed plus 1. If you expand, are you not going to be getting x to the power 4 plus x? This is what we've got there. I think that one is quicker, no? The first method is quicker. It's up to you what method you use. Now the second one, the b part I'm doing here. So again, I'll split. So 3x squared minus 6x to the power 5. You have written the top number. And now just give the base to each term. Like this. It's splitted. Now what? X 3 halves is 1.5. We can't do anything about it. But x squared over x to the power 1, it would be x minus x to the power 5 over 6 over 2 can be written as 3. X to the power 5 over x is x to the power 4. And this is what the answer is. Right? Okay. Now the last part. for the last part, we are going to be again doing the same thing. So you have whatever the top number you have, just don't think much, write it first. Oh, that's rhyming. Don't think much, write it first. Okay. Now we're going to be dividing by the bottom number. We will divide each term by the bottom number like this, no? So splitting is done. 20 over 5 is 4. X to the power 7 divided by x to the power 2. So indices subtract, you're going to be getting 5 plus 15 over 5, that gives you 3. X cubed over 2, that gives you 1. Okay. And that is your final answer. So, oh, again, I kept the work area. Oh, the class break. So that is all for the lesson for today, right? So what all we did discuss about all the index laws. But before we go for a break, let's have a quick question. Let's have this question. As I promised, we're going to be going through the question. So let's try finding out the mistake. I personally like finding mistakes a lot. Let's see if we can find the mistakes for this students solving. So what the attempt of the student is, it is something like this. What the mistake there? Pause the video, think about it, and then match with my answer. So over here, it is, the plus sign. And if you see, it was 2 to the power 2x plus 4. So if I write a to the power m plus n, it is, okay, tell me what it is. Is it a to the power m plus a to the power n, or a to the power m times a to the power n? If you are able to configure that, you will be able to find out the flaw, mistake there. Yes, it is 100% not this, right? So what the child did, what the student did, the student has added the plus over here. Such an innocent child, no? But losing marks. So this is the first mistake he did. This is the mistake he did. So once it's done, then whole question is going to be wrong. So what we need to, we have to find out 2 errors. Okay. So the first mistake we found out. What is the next mistake? Let's see. So. Oh, I got it. Did you get that? The second mistake, 2 to the power, sorry. So, the second mistake we have over here is 2 to the power 4. It's not 8. The child needs a lot of practice, no? The child should join Excel Maths, I guess. So, 2 to the power 4 is not 2 times 4. It is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times. This is 16. Oh, poor child. What I was saying, I just got in mind. So when we have, repeated addition, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, it is multiplication, no? So what we do, how many times it repeats? 4 times. What repeats? 2. 4 times 2. But if it's repeated multiplication, that is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, that's nothing but an exponent. So we're going to be writing 2 with a floating 4. Okay. Now let's talk about the solution. So if we have to solve this, it is 2 to the power 2x times 2 to the power 4, right? Minus 9 2 to the power x. That is equal to 0. So what I did over here, if you are understanding, or if you're not understanding, I'll make you understand. Just tell me, if it is written like this, can you write it to be like that? Just tell that to me. 2 to the power 2x times 2 to the power 4. So same base, indices add, we can definitely write it. Correct? So yes, this is what we did. Now over here they are having 2 to the power x. if I write 2 to the power x squared, and I'm going to be writing it as 16, so I'm writing 16 there, minus 9 2 to the power x. Oh, sorry, not here basically. It has to go up there, equals 0. So I think I again have next, slide for space. If I'll be able to manage here, then what's the need? So 16, and this is something we have. So we can see 2 to the power x and 2 to the power x. So 2 raised to the power x, can we make it going y? I mean, let 2 to the power x is nothing but y. So we're going to be writing 16 and y in place of that squared minus 9y. Oh wow, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now you're understanding how to do this. Here what we're going to do, we can take y common. So if you take y common, you will be having 16y minus 9. That's equal to 0. So y is 0 and 16y minus 9 is 0. So from here, I think I need a space. So 16y minus, first was y equals 0. 16y minus 9 is 0. So y will be 9 over 16 and 0. These are the two values we are getting as a solution for the question. And this gives you 4 marks. Very well done. Okay kids, now let's see what the other question can be solved over here. This is like surds and everything. I'm avoiding to do it today, but definitely we'll discuss that. We will be discussing this question today, correct? So here it's all about like exponents only, indices only. So what we need to do, we have to express y in terms of x. So when we have to express y in terms of x, how to do that is a question. So this is basically 81 and that is 9. Just think about what we used to do, right? We used to try writing, it in the prime, powers of prime, So 9 is nothing but 3 squared. 81 is what? 9 times 9, that means 3 to the power 4. So we're going to be writing the complete equation in terms of base 3. So 9, where your 9 is, you are just going to be changing your 9 to be written as 3 square. Quietly, don't tell anyone. Yeah. So it's x minus 1 on the top of 3 to the power y plus 2. That is equal to 3 to the power 4. Correct? So now what we can do, we can write it as 3 to the power. What happens when you have powers of powers? It would be over here again, you're going to be making a mistake. Okay, you try, first write the answer, then you match with mine. If you have made a mistake or not. I should not, just, never mind. 2, so have you got 3 to the power, very light color. So have you got 3 to the power 2x minus 1 over 3 to the power y plus 2, that is equal to 3 to the power 4. If you have got this, very well done. You made a mistake. Yes. And if you didn't get this, if you've got that, let me correct that. If you've got that, superb. You're very ready for your, A-levels. No worries. And if you've got 1, that is also fine. You are going to be starting from the place you are in. Obviously, destination is same, but your starting point is where you are. So need not to worry, just keep correcting yourself. Many times I also make mistakes, no? So everyone makes mistakes and learn from them. So 2 times x and 2 times minus 1. So it would give you 3 to the power 2x minus 2 over 3 to the power y plus 2. That is equal to this. Okay. Now we are going to be subtracting, same bases are there. So we use quotient rule, dividing rule. So it would give us 3 to the power 2x minus 2 minus y plus 2, which is equal to 3 to the power 4. You have same basis. You can equate your powers. So you can write 2x minus 2 minus y plus 2 equals 4. If you are new here, most of the times my x looks like n. So just don't consider it to be n until I say that. So it is 2x minus 2. Now, negative inside, it would be minus y minus 2, that is equal to 4. And if you simplify, do I have a page? No, I don't have any space next. So we're going to be writing it 2x minus y minus 4 equals 4. I'm just writing it there. So it would be 2x minus y, moving 4 there. So it would be positive. 4 plus 4 is 8. We have to make what? Express y in terms of x. So move y there and 8 here. So 2x minus 8 equals 5. And that is going to be your answer. So y is nothing but 2x minus 8. It was easy, no? And with 3 marks. How are you feeling for your A-levels? Good, no? Me too. Okay, so for other questions, we will be discussing gradually. It would be very long lesson. So yeah, let's find it up here. Yeah, we can solve them 100%. If you want, you can just solve and share your answers, right? So students, it was a very good time sitting with you. We'll meet back again. Till then, bye-bye. Take care. Bye.